Welcome to the Becks, a podcast that explores multimedia horror with hosts Becky and Sydney. Join us as we talk about movies, books, video games, music, and much, much more.
Let's get nostalgic. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks. Today we're talking about Alien Romulus.
Alien Romulus. Any alien is scary.
These aliens don't scare me that much.
Really?
I mean...
Dude, they latch onto you. They're parasites on your face, on your chest. They don't scare you.
So, the thing that bothers me the most about these aliens, xenomorphs, is the rape, unwanted pregnancy allegory. But, I don't know, it's a weird phobia of mine. So, I know I'm scared of aliens, but not these ones. They're monsters to me. That's less scary than the humanoid ones. I don't know.
No, I guess I understand that. Humanoid aliens are almost... real.
I don't know.
I think they're real.
They're just really unsettling. And, you know, if
I'm sorry, they probably are real. I feel bad saying that because...
Are the aliens gonna hear you and be offended?
No, but we have people that we've met that 100% believe. And even though I haven't seen it or experienced it, I guess I shouldn't just poo-poo it and be like, they're not real.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I was like, are you gonna hurt the aliens' feelings?
That
makes more sense.
I love that's where you went with that.
I did.
Like,
I
that's
was like,
right where you went.
Yeah.
Becky is scared of the aliens overhearing her say they're not real. Now, if I have an alien dream, I am so blaming it on you.
Oh, I would feel really bad.
Anyway, I digress.
So, yeah, Alien.
Romulus,
specifically. Mm-hmm. So the first one came out in 77-ish, I think. Sigourney Weaver.
79.
79, okay. She's one of the first final girls. She's a badass bitch. She saves her cat, which I fully respect. Do you remember what you were doing when you first watched this movie?
New one
not
or
this
the original?
One, the original.
No, because at the time it came out, I was 7.
Yeah, you were young.
And so I probably didn't watch it till I was much older, and I don't even know if I actually watched the entire full movie before.
Oh.
Right? I know.
Shocking. You did watch this one, right?
Yeah, I watched this one twice.
I've only seen it once, but it was really good.
It was really good.
I thought that the story was good. I thought that the acting was good. Thought it was a little too long. We'll get into that. But this movie was great. I feel like what was so awesome about the original was that it was very claustrophobic. This one wasn't as claustrophobic. I mean, it was kind of, but this is the issue I have. At least with the first one, with the Nostramos, the ship, it was small. It was kind of cramped feeling. I mean, they had the big open area where they ate or whatever. But in general, it felt very small. When they go into Romulus and Remus, it's really big.
So it's huge.
It wasn't as claustrophobic as I would have liked, I guess, is where I'm going with that. There were moments of claustrophobia, but the fucking ship that they went into was like a space station. It was enormous.
And you don't think that may have made it a little more terrifying because there was so much more space for them to hide? I mean, I guess maybe not, though, because in a claustrophobic area, there's no way to get away.
That's a good point, though.
I don't know.
With how big it was. Yeah, you're right. With how big it was and how much they had to travel through to get to their certain destinations or whatever, for whatever reason. Yeah, I guess I could see both
Every minute
points.
was a fight because they never knew what was around the next corner. So,
yeah,
I don't really know. I think both are horrible. Any kind of scary, terrifying monster that's coming after me, whether it's a confined space or a very large space that there could be so many more in, I don't know. I don't like any of it. They're gross.
See, this is the other thing, too, why these aliens don't scare me, is confronted with xenomorphs, I'm dead. Okay? Either I get stabbed in the chest by the big one, or I get impregnated by the face hugger and it bursts out of my chest and I die that way. Either way, I'm dead, right? But the other aliens, they could experiment on me and stuff. That's worse for me. I don't...
Okay. I don't... Okay.
Okay, let's talk about the plot. Let's talk about the plot.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two main characters are Rain and Andy, and they're siblings. They have a sibling relationship. And they work on this fucking awful mining planet where there's no sun at all, ever. And they are essentially slaves. They have to work a certain amount of hours, and once they reach that amount of hours worked, allegedly, they get to leave.
And she was in agriculture, right? She wasn't in the mines.
Right. Her dad was in the mines, but she was in...
Yeah, because her mom and dad both died from the mines, from poisoning. It's horrible.
Yeah. In Andy, you find out later on that he's actually an android that was...
You find out pretty quickly, because those kids pick on him when she goes to...
Yeah. But the only reason why we know is because his blood is white.
And she has to reset him. Mm-hmm. Because these kids pick on him. They know... I don't know how they know. How do they know?
I don't know.
Does he have like a thing on him that says? I never figured that out. But they immediately go to pick on him. And they kind of beat him up and he goes into like a fit. He's shaking and twitching and she has to reset him with a key in his neck.
Yeah.
And he's bleeding. White liquid.
So I immediately loved Andy so much. But I didn't know he was an android. You know, that gets revealed obviously to the audience later on. He was very sweet and he read as autistic. Mm-hmm. He always told these cringy dad jokes and his hands would shake. He seemed to get overwhelmed easily, and Rain kind of mothered him a little bit.
Oh yeah, she was like the big sister.
Yeah, and when he gets picked on and stuff, you kind of are like, oh, he's an android. That didn't change my opinion of him at all.
No, I loved him. He was like a brother to her. You could just tell how much she cared for him. And I think he was all she had left. She'd lost her parents, and he'd been around since she was a little girl.
Yeah.
He was sweet, and he was caring, and I get mad.
Yeah. So she goes to the place that they go to when their contract is up, and she's like, hey, I'm reporting my last hours. And the lady that's working behind the counter is like, yeah, your work contract got extended 27,000 hours, so...
You'll be done in 5 or 6 years, and we're sending you to the mines.
Yeah, so she went from a relatively safe work environment to an environment that killed her fucking parents. And so she's furious, rightfully so. Once she helps Andy recover from his attack, she ends up visiting some friends in a different district. They work on the ships. They're scrappers, kind of. That's when we meet some other characters. Her ex-boyfriend, Tyler, his sister, Kay. And then you also meet Tyler and Kay's cousin, Bjorn, and Bjorn's sister, Navarro. Bjorn's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he is.
He's a racist piece of shit. Bjorn has something against androids because one made a call, which this is something that we see in other android-related media. Basically, Bjorn's loved one died because the android made a decision to lock them out or whatever, and it ended up saving more people. So 2 or 3 people died to save 10 or 15. A similar situation.
Which I'm assuming, probably programmed to do. You save the mass rather than the...
Yeah. Needs of the many, blah, 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 whatever. So now he has a thing against androids, which I can understand, but...
But I don't think he should blame It's just like blaming every person for one thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't that... But I guess it's the programming that throws him off with it. So, but he doesn't have to be such a jerk, and he is a jerk.
No, he's so mean to Andy, and Andy is never...
And it makes me sad because Andy has feelings. You can see his feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
He just wants to look after Rain. That's his prime directive.
It's what he's programmed to do.
Yeah. But I think he also really loves her. I mean, we're not going to get into it. The movie doesn't really get into it totally. There have been other androids in the past that have fucked with shit in the Alien franchise because of their directives or whatever. They go out of their way to humanize these android characters too, so it kind of just, I don't know what they're trying to say, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Because as bad as Prometheus and stuff was, Fassbender, he played an android, and he was like evil.
Yeah.
He did some fucked up shit. But then, like, he played music. There were very human elements to him, so I just don't know. We don't need to talk about this anymore. I just don't know what they're trying to say with the android thing, I guess. Rain ends up telling Tyler my contract got extended, and she was all ready to leave.
Yeah.
Tyler is like, well, that's fucked up. We actually have a plan because we picked up on our scanner there's this ship, and we think that it might have cryotubes in it, and we can just fuck off this planet and travel to Yavaga. we can all just go into cryo sleep and still the cryo sleep shit. We'll hook it into our ship and we'll fuck off, and what are they gonna do? Once we're there, we'll be free, because Yavaga is allegedly this fucking utopian whatever.
But they don't tell her one very important thing to begin with, but then they do.
They reveal that they need Andy, though, because he can speak Mother, which is the computer language. So he needs to be able to interface so that they can be let in. Bjorn ends up saying, oh, you can't come to Yavaga. They don't let androids live there. Immediately, my thought was, well, what kind of fucking utopia is it then?
Yeah, no kidding.
It seems discriminatory. It's not, oh, there's no androids here because they're technically slaves. There's no good reason for it, and Bjorn just says it to hurt Andy's feelings.
Yeah, he's mean.
And Rain is back on the ship because it's just Bjorn and Tyler that go in at first with Andy. Kay's like, oh, you didn't tell him? So then Rain knew, and I'm immediately fucking furious. I'm like, that's your brother. I guess this is just, as a sibling, there is no fucking way. I don't care if he's an android or not. That's your brother. You're gonna leave him? You suck. If it was me, I would be going to Yavaga, and I'd have my little android brother, and I'd be like, he comes too, or you can fucking suck my dick.
Then why would you go there? You knew he wasn't allowed there. Try it, just to see?
Yeah. Like, they're really gonna, like... And you know what? If they turn me away, then I'll just fucking go to some other planet. Hopefully one where I don't have to work in the mines. But this is the thing is, I don't know. I just lost a lot of respect for her then.
No, I did too. I thought it was very mean and cruel. They were just using him, and then they were just going to leave him behind. And that,
yeah.
Again, you could tell it hurt him.
Yeah. Confused
him. Because he has been programmed to protect her. Yeah. She is his whole world.
Yeah.
And how cruel is that to take her away from him?
And he even says at one point that if that's what's best for Rain, then that's what will happen. And I'm just, dude, I can't do it, okay? Because I was like so attached to him at this point. This is when it all goes to shit, okay? They find the cryostasis fuel. They find the tubes, but the tubes are running low on the fuel. So they go to another part of the ship.
Which, again, huge ship.
Yeah. And, this fucking space station that they go into is slowly being pulled in by the planet's gravity. It's dangerous for them to stay in there too long. Which it adds a nice touch. At the beginning, they're like, we got 36 hours, no big deal. And it's like, that seems like a lot of time.
Yeah.
But then it isn't. As we all know, you think you have enough time for something and you never do.
No.
They find the fuel, but when they try to get it out, it triggers a lockdown. And
can you imagine being in this ship that you know nothing about?
This
and
really
all of a sudden you're just like locked.
This whole scene.
No, this whole scene is horrible.
Was so scary. Because as an audience member, you can see the face huggers in their little whatever.
They move so super fast and they're so creepy and they.
But the cryo fuel was keeping them cold so that they would be inert. So when they turn off the valve, they stop cooling, they start heating up, and they wake up and they start breaking out of their little eggs.
Yeah, they're no longer in that hibernation state. They're just coming.
There's water on the floor, and they're swimming through the water, and it's awful. It's so bad.
They wouldn't have to latch on to me. I would probably just die from seeing them. The whole thought of,
Yeah. It's really scary. And don't get me wrong, the whole idea of the face hugger thing and the thing down your throat, and it's like, it's horrible. I don't relish the thought of that happening to me.
You're still conscious when that happens, too, though, so I don't know how that can be better. Because it's almost like being experimented on. But anyway, back to the movie.
Yeah. So they start panicking. They're locked out. They can't get out. And so this is when Rain and Navarro go into the ship and go in after them so they can try to access it before. Andy tells them, if you access one of the other androids on board, they should give you the override code. And this is when they wake up Rook.
I hate him.
This I thought was so stupid because they did CGI Ian Holm. He didn't need to be there. Him being that android made no difference to the story. It could have been any android. So I just thought it was kind of stupid. It was a grab for the nostalgia points or whatever. But Rook does suck, okay?
He does.
Because his prime directive is with the fucking Wayland Corporation, and they're a bunch of shit fucks. They take his thingy out, his override, whatever. I don't know.
They take his thingy out.
Yeah,
and do you know what they do?
Don't whisper it like that. They put it into Andy.
So they take his microchip thing, whatever it is, out.
So they can use his credentials. And the boys in the fucking lockdown room are freaking the fuck out because they know something's in the water and stuff is flinging at their face. And Tyler gets almost drowned.
Yeah.
And it's this whole bad situation. And then they manage to open the door and get everybody out, but not before one of the face huggers escapes. It beelines straight for Navarro. And it doesn't look like anybody's gonna get infected for a while because they're running from it, whatever. But Navarro like trips or something and it fucking...
I don't like them.
It gets right in her.
Yeah.
And at this point, Andy has the new chip, and his entire personality changed.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I was overcome by such a fucking degree of horror when that happened. I hated it.
Yeah.
Because it was like he was gone. And
completely.
Even Bjorn was, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And Andy was like, I'm Andy. But
so apparently the microchips or whatever it is totally programs their whole personality.
yeah.
And the one that they put in him was completely different objective on what he was to do.
Yeah, because he ends up speaking with Rook about the whole situation. They all speak to Rook about the situation because Navarro has a thing inside of her. And they're like, how do we get it off?
And it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah.
She's alive. They can't get it off of her, and it's forcing her to breathe. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
because it has those fin things
Yeah.
on the back of it that causes you to breathe. And
I would have just wanted them to shoot me. Period. I'd
well,
have been fine with that.
Bjorn was insistent that they save Navarro, which I understand. But both Rook and Andy at that point were like, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's not dead yet, but she's going to be. She might as well be, right? She's probably already infected. And around this time, Rain realizes that Andy's primary directive has changed. Because she's, fuck, I gotta get this chip out of you. You're kind of a douchebag now. And
Yeah. It's no good.
Yeah.
His directive sucks.
he's like, no, you can't take it out. Sorry. I won't let you. That goes against my new prime directive, which is to fucking get this new fucking serum that they made out of xenomorph blood, because this was a research ship, and they picked up the alien that Sigourney Weaver blasted out of the fucking airlock, and they reverse engineered, genetically manipulated it, and that all went wrong, obviously, because they made an adult xenomorph and it killed everybody.
Exactly.
And when they finally killed its acidic blood caused a giant hole to fucking
burn through everything?
Yeah, and then everyone died from rapid explosive decompression. So
they were trying to make a stronger species or something that they could inject to make people strong. It was just crazy.
Standard corporate greed, you know how it is. So that's Andy's new objective, though, is to get that serum and take it to the headquarters, wherever that may be. They actually do manage to get the face hugger off of Navarro, which I did not see coming.
No, I didn't see that coming either. I thought for sure that was useless.
I was like, holy shit, that's good. That's great. But it doesn't... Yeah, she was already infected.
She don't last very long.
Yeah. She and Bjorn fucking run for the ship, and Andy tries to stop them because he's like, no, we can't have that getting out and infecting other people.
Yeah.
And Tyler and Rain actually get separated because Bjorn closes the blast doors on his way out, and Andy gets blocked out too. So it's Navarro and Bjorn trying to leave them.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fuck you, Bjorn. I want to make it clear, like, Andy wanted to leave Navarro there, which fucking sucks, but, you know.
But he knew that she was already infected, I think. I think he could sense that.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to save the entire ship. Not really save the people. He could have given a shit less about them, but...
No, but he needed the ship to get the serum to where it needed to go. Navarro gets chest bursted.
Chest bursted?
Yeah.
Don't get chest bursted. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No. Very nasty.
Kay, meanwhile, she's it's revealed that she got pregnant by some useless fuck, deadbeat. And Tyler, her brother, doesn't know that she's pregnant. She just shares this with Rain. Well, she's been sick as hell with morning sickness, so she just stayed on the ship.
Her whole story makes me sad.
It's awful. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So she wakes up because everybody's screaming. Bjorn and Navarro is screaming, and then something bursts out of Navarro's chest, and she's going to try to help her, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. She got chest bursted. There's no helping that.
Yeah. Of course, they have the cute little baby xenomorph that comes out. And
so cute, yeah.
But Navarro is the pilot, and she was trying to fly the ship out of there. And so when she gets chest bursted, which is apparently a verb now.
Yeah. We might trademark that.
She hits the floor, the yoke goes crazy, the ship crashes into the fucking space station, everything goes bad.
There's no good in this movie.
Yeah, there really isn't. It's like something almost kind of good happens. For example, they get the face hugger off of Navarro. Well, it was too late.
The chest bursting must commence.
Yeah. Which, that's one of my favorite bits of trivia, is in the original movie. They had no idea that something was going to come out of the guy's chest at all.
When they were filming?
Yeah.
Oh.
So all of the screaming and the blood getting on people's face, that was the first take, and no one knew that was going to happen.
Oh, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know
Probably
that.
very traumatic.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that was a night of nightmares when they all went home.
What was with all these directors back in the day just traumatizing their actors? Because Alfred Hitchcock was infamous for that, too.
He was horrible.
He went at the main actress for Psycho with a knife because he didn't think she was genuine enough in her fucking fear. Which,
yeah, and how many people ended up with broken bones and broken backs, and yeah, we've talked about that.
The other favorite piece of trivia I have about the first Alien movie is Sigourney Weaver spends a lot of her screen time in her underwear, and Ridley Scott wanted her to shave her bush.
Oh yeah, you told me this. I think we've discussed this on another episode.
Maybe we did, but it's still great. Like, she didn't want to shave it, so they had to go in and CGI it out of every single shot. And I'm sure the editors fucking hated her.
Oh, I'm sure.
So much. But good for her.
Yeah, stay true to who you are.
Fuck that male gaze shit. Anyway. Navarro's dead. Kay's knocked out. Bjorn was also fucked up because he fell down a ladder and stuff. And the ship crashes into the hangar. And, of course, that brings them closer to the planet. So it speeds up their time of potential collision into the rings, which, if you know anything about planetary rings, it's not just pretty gas. It's ass meteors and space.
Ass.
Yeah, it's ass. It's all ass.
That's what you said.
My brain is not moving fast enough.
You were going to say asteroids, I'm sure.
Yeah. I was going to say asteroids, but that's not right. That's not correct. It's filled with space shit and chunky stuff, and collision with that is not good.
That's not what you want.
No. And if you know anything about aliens, these particular brand of aliens is that they molt super quickly, and they grow into their adult form very rapidly.
They're horrible. I hate them.
So Bjorn actually attacks it with a stun baton, but that doesn't work out for him. Because for whatever reason, the stun baton, well, it injures it, but it makes its skin, like, explode. So I don't know if it was... Okay, when you're hit with a taser as a human, does your skin explode?
I don't think so. I mean, I've seen people be tased. Not in person, but on TV.
It's just... I don't understand why it injured the xenomorph the way it did. Because it exploded it, kind of. Not killing it, but... It literally sprays its poison blood all over him, and he dies horribly.
It's so gross.
He is totally dissolved by this acid. And I just don't understand how that happened. I don't get the mechanics. If somebody could explain to me the mechanics, I would appreciate it, because maybe I just sound like an idiot. But whatever. It's never stopped me from talking before, so.
It's true. No, just kidding. She's gonna hit me.
Well, Bjorn is dying horribly. Kay escapes. And the creature chases after her. Rain and Tyler actually meet up with her and try to rescue her. But Andy, quote unquote Andy, is like, no, The creature wants us to open the door.
Because the creature's in there still.
Yeah.
Coming after her, for sure.
Yeah, it's stalking her.
Yes.
It knows where she is. And there's just one single door separating them. And she's like, hey, unlock the fucking door, man. And
it's so bad.
Tyler's like, yeah, unlock the fucking door.
Yep.
And Andy won't do it. And she gets stabbed and dragged away by the
right
xenomorph.
in front of her brother.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Rain actually tries to get Andy to open the door by saying that she's pregnant, which was the worst possible thing she could have said, because A, she's appealing to someone who isn't Andy anymore.
Yeah, who has no empathy for anybody.
Yeah. B, it made what happened next so much worse for everyone involved, especially Tyler, because he didn't know. Again, he didn't know that his sister was pregnant. And then she just gets brutally murdered in front of him.
So not only did he lose his sister, he just found out they lost a niece or nephew.
Yeah.
All in one thing.
Yeah.
Which makes it, not that it's any more horrible because she was dead and he loved her very much, but it's just bad. It's just bad.
And it didn't even work. It would have been a different story if Andy had been moved by this or whatever. And he's
and he don't care.
He doesn't. And Rook tells Andy that he has to take the fluid and take it to Jackson's Star. Otherwise, he won't let them leave. He still has control of the hangar and everything like that. So even if they board the ship and try to leave, he won't release it. They have to get the fluid, the super juice. Such a fucking asshole. It's so stupid. So Rain and Tyler actually are able to find some rifles, but Andy's like, hey, if you kill the xenomorph again, it's gonna fucking do the same thing that killed this crew. Like, it's going to acid blood its way out into the atmosphere, and everyone's gonna die from rapid explosive decompression, which has to be one of the worst ways to die.
I think so.
They make their way through the ship after getting the fluid, and they actually discover a nest, and it has a bunch of dead bodies in it, and they're all in various states of decay and chest burstery.
That's a new one, chest burstery. Yeah, we are so trademarking all these words. Yes, chest burstery. Different stages of.
But they actually find Kay.
What? Kay? She's there?
Yeah, she's alive, and Andy postulates that they haven't infected her yet because she's severely injured. And Andy's like, well, we could give her some of the super juice, and she should be able to heal a little bit. Do you not like the super juice?
No.
So, we'll get into why the super juice is bad in a second.
Super juice is not so super.
Well, it is, but just not in a way that you want.
Oh, it's super.
It all goes wrong again. They are able to take Kay, and they're trying to escape, but then a bunch of fucking facehuggers and adult xenomorphs start fucking chasing them, and Tyler sacrifices himself so that Rain and Kay can try to get out.
Horrible.
It is horrible. It's so sad. Rain is able to drag Kay to safety, and she actually returns to rescue Andy because he got injured, and he was having like an android seizure because of some injury. And she takes that opportunity to yank out the fucking evil microchip.
And put the good microchip back in.
And
she resets him to himself.
Which
I'm not sure if that was good or bad, because,
So that is an interesting point, because when he was
Bad Andy,
he actually lost his tremor and quirks, shall we say. So it kind of made him closer to factory normal, shall we say. Because I don't want to say he was better. Everything about him, his personality was like erased. It's like, yes, he was able to use his body. He had access to all of his way he could move, and it was
functioned properly. I'm air quoting.
Yeah.
He functioned properly according to what they made androids apparently to do. However, he lost all of his humanity.
Yeah.
When he was bad Andy.
And what made him him? So is it worth it? And also her taking it away is hard too, because this is just an interesting conversation, because
I think for me, her taking it away, I mean, I was very glad that Andy went back to Andy, but what happens...
It's sad at the same time.
Yes, what happens then, to me, is more heartbreaking than if he was that mean, bad Andy.
So she restores him to his original programming. Rain actually is able to disable the station's gravity for a second so she can escape. This is all horrible. There's this whole scene of this weird acid blood tunnel thing, and it's so stressful.
Oh, it's very stressful. Because she shoots the aliens to kill them, to save themselves.
But then the blood is everywhere.
The blood is everywhere, so they have to get through the blood. If it touches them, they're done.
Yeah. Andy actually kills the Navarro xenomorph, the one that comes out of Navarro.
Yeah.
And they escape back onto the ship right as the space station is destroyed. This is why I say this movie was a little bit too long, because this is the end.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
It's not. It goes on for another 20 minutes. And I don't dislike what happens in the next 20 minutes. It just irritates me that it felt like the end, and then it went for 20 more minutes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you expect that that's the end, that they've completed what they were trying to complete in the movie, and then you're like, oh, wait, what? What is happening? Okay, I have to sit here and still watch?
Yeah, we were ready. Rain and Andy prepare for the trip to Yavaga. Kay, they put in a cryostasis after they gave her the super juice. They put her in cryo first because they figure, like she's healing with the super juice. Which, by the way, I just want to bring this up. I don't know exactly how cryostasis works.
Well, neither do I.
Okay. The trip is 9 years long, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's why they have to sleep through it. Is the fetus inside her also cryostasis? Because otherwise your pregnant belly would be growing, and then you'd birth the baby, and it has to also pause everything. I would
say, yeah, I would think.
Because I had that horrific thought. I was like, this probably isn't what's gonna happen. But I'm like, what if you were in cryostasis, cryosleep, or whatever, and you had a baby, and you woke up and there was just this rabid 9-year-old child in your pod, like gnawing on your leg.
Okay, that's not a good thought.
Why my brain goes to these places? I'm sorry.
It's no wonder you have nightmares.
Okay, so
your normal brain works this way.
So Rain gets this alert that some bad shit's happening in Kay's cryotube. Oh. And this is so traumatic. It's so horrible.
That is awful.
So she opens the tube, and Kay's belly is enormous. She was freshly pregnant at the beginning of it. Like she was not showing. She was like, she had just found out she's pregnant. So somehow she is enormously pregnant. Well, we know why. It's because of this fucking super juice.
Yes.
And she's giving birth. And she gives birth to one of the facehugger eggs that you see in like the first movie. Okay. The problem is it's human blood and there's acid blood. Rain says, I gotta get this fucking thing away from her. And she ends up dropping it, and it starts just fizzling through the ship, which is really bad.
Yeah, you don't want that.
But she looks down, and she kind of sees like a baby, and it starts crying, and she's like, I'll deal with that in a minute. I gotta help Kay. So she's trying to help Kay. So my immediate thought was, she's gonna come back, and the baby's gonna be gone, which is exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. But in my head, I'm like, there's gonna be this creepy baby crawling around, which is my worst fear.
A creepy baby?
Creepy baby, specifically like crawling around on ceilings and stuff.
Yeah, I don't like any of that.
So that's what I thought was gonna happen, and I was like, this is horrible. I hate this. It was worse.
Oh, it was worse.
It was so much worse than that.
Yeah, did you expect to see that?
Oh my god, no.
That's one of the creepiest things I think I've ever seen.
It turns into this fucking humonorph.
That's our word too.
It's the humonorph. So it turns into a human xenomorph hybrid, and it was mutated by the super juice that he injected it with. So it healed her, but it fucking fucked her baby way up. So bad. And it's long and tall, and it's really scary, and it has a fucking mouth in its mouth, and it's literally the worst combination of human and xenomorph.
It's not a baby. It's a gigantic.
It literally, it molts.
And its face.
Yeah.
There's no description. I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Are you really? Oh, I hate it. It's so creepy. That thing, That thing right there, that's fucking scary.
No, that's the thing in nightmares.
I would take 10 xenomorphs over that thing.
Oh, this is a...
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Me too. It's so bad.
So it goes after Kay. It's snuffling at her because I think it knows it's its mother, I guess. But then it starts eating her. And it's the worst. It's the worst. I don't even remember how it dies. Doesn't she blow it out an airlock or something?
I believe that is exactly what happens.
Yeah, she fucking disintegrates it in the fucking rings of the planet. And... Kay's dead as hell. So it's just Rain and Andy. Rain enters cryostasis and just hopes she fucking reaches Yvaga alive. And that's how the movie ends.
There you go.
I hate that baby thing so much.
A baby thing. Gigantic monster human.
It's the worst.
Xenomorph. Blech.
Even, like...
Oh, its face, dude.
So what's funny is James came in right before that happened. So right when I thought the movie was ending, James came home and I'm like, oh, good timing. He comes into the living room when that's happening and he went, ugh! I'm like, I know. And he's like, what the fuck made that? And I'm like, I'll tell you later.
Super juice?
It was super juice. Which actually, upon my first watch of this movie, and I read some reviews and stuff afterwards, I didn't know that it was the super juice that did that. I'm like, oh, did a face hugger inject her? And I'm like, whatever. But it makes much more sense that that's what happened.
Well, I knew it wasn't a good idea when she did it.
Well, no, of course not.
You knew, because we knew as the audience, we knew that this was not good. Like,
it was going to go wrong.
The juice was going to be
somehow.
bad.
Yeah.
We knew that what it was meant to do, and so injecting it into your body was not the thing to do. But they didn't know that.
Yeah, this is the thing is, whenever it talks about making a superior species or fucking whatever, it's always racist and it's always bad and it always turns out shit. So let's just stop.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that. Okay, again, I loved the last 20 minutes of this film. I just wish that it hadn't felt like it was ending 20 minutes before.
Yeah, that was understandable.
That was my biggest bitch. I don't like when movies do that. I don't like false endings. Because, again, it was wrapped up in a little bow. They were back on the ship. It was going to be fine. I just needed it to transition a little bit differently is all.
Which makes sense, yes.
Yeah.
Because, no, I agree. I thought it was done, but it was not. I thought they saved Kay. I thought it was going to be wonderful. It was not.
Literally, what happened to Kay was the absolute fucking worst thing.
Oh, horrible.
That happened to anybody else. I mean, yeah, other people died horribly as well, but there's just something...
about your gigantic humorph eating you. Yeah. You give birth to this monster and then it turns around and eats you. No, bad. It was all bad.
So that was Alien Romulus. Give it a watch. It is really good.
It is good. A lot of action. It's never slow really at all. There's always something happening.
When Andy was first introduced, I immediately fell in love with that character and I was really glad that he made it to the end of the movie. I really did not think he was going to make it.
I didn't either, especially there when they were dealing with the acid and everything. I just thought it was over for him. That's what made me sad a little bit, is because he was actually back to himself and he was feeling his feelings.
Yeah.
So.
And Rain ends the movie actually by changing his directive. She says, it's not what's best for Rain anymore, it's what's best for us. Which I thought she should have said what was best for Andy, personally, because she didn't give a shit about Andy. She was going to leave him behind, god damn it. I'm still salty. It's like, why are you tying his fate to yours again? Let him have his own fucking directive.
True.
I don't know. It's just, from a sibling perspective, I just think that was just dirty.
You are a very good sibling.
Thank you.
I'm not sure my brothers and I would do that for each other. I mean, I think I would. I'm still like the type that I can say whatever I want to about my siblings, but if you say something, like a stranger or someone comes up and says, oh, your brother's weird, I'm going to get pissed.
Yeah.
And say, fuck off, so are you. Get out of my face. 100%. My brother is weird, and he's probably listening to this, and he knows he's weird. It's all good.
No, and this is the thing, too, is at Yvaga, do they have anti-android fucking checkpoints?
Well, and how do they know?
Just lie.
That's what I said in the beginning when those kids picked on him and he ended up having that seizure. How do they know? How do they know?
Because you have to activate the panel in the neck. It's not obvious.
No.
And even if it was, wear a fucking scarf. How do they know? Just mind your own business. How about
Yeah.
that? Anyway, we're going to talk about a book next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta listen to that book. We'll talk about that book, and then we gotta do an episode on Nosferatu.
Yes.
Sexy Nosferatu.
Oh, Nosferatu.
With his delicious breathing. Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
Today the pod, tomorrow the world. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks.